Okay, this is the underhood section of a 1967 Dart GT style convertible. And I think we have a whole bunch of things to point out on this guy, a whole bunch of stuff to talk about. Obviously a 24-inch aluminum radiator. I'm going to guess it's about a 4-pass. It has the correct type fan shroud on it and a flex fan. I'm going to guess 7 blades. Looks like about 7 blades down there. New battery in it. I'm sure Donnie put that on. New belts on it. Donnie always puts new belts on everything. This particular car has a 400-inch motor in it. Carter Afb Carburetor. It has the standard cast iron intake manifold that came with it. It has a set of ceramic long tube, appear to be about 1 3/4 inch headers. It'll definitely let this guy breathe the way it should. The correct for 1970-71 type air cleaner with the dual snorkels. Prestolite distributor with the original tan Prestolite cap on it, still intact. Has a set of high silicone plug wires on it. The coil is mounted just the way it should be from the factory. Someone has replaced the original alternator with a chrome alternator on it. It does have double belts on it too, by the way, because of the air conditioning, I'm going to assume, which is on this vehicle and functional. It has air conditioning, power steering, and power brakes on it. This thing's really a well-equipped piece of equipment here. Everything on this engine appears to be new. You can see everything's been out and refreshened. It does have the heat still hooked up to the passenger compartment, and obviously it appears to be like a vintage air system hooked up here also. A new condenser in front of the radiator. The core support's never been bumped or disrupted in any way. It's still the original core support in this vehicle. Fender tag still on the inner fender panel here, and nice and clean and legible. Oh my, there's a whole bunch of stuff in this guy. Everything is just as clean and fresh as you'd ever hope to find. Under hood pad for insulation, a 3-speed windshield wiper. Has some kind of electronic box here. I have absolutely no idea what it's for, but there is an electronic box there. May have something to do with the radio or the sound system that's in this thing. Washer bottle still intact, and you can see it's a new one replaced. It's not turned yellow. A billet aluminum overflow for the radiator. Instead of just dumping it as it warms up or something on the ground, you do have a reservoir here to take the overflow from the radiator. Great addition on these vehicles. Dual horns on it, still the factory horns and still intact. Everything on this engine appears to be as it was from the factory, you know. And obviously they never put a 400 in a little 67 Dart GT. But this guy does house it at this point. In 1967, you could get a detuned 383 in these vehicles. This would be a derivative thereof. A little more cubic inches, a little bit more horsepower. It's a great looking engine, great sounding engine, and a phenomenal engine compartment. I don't know the actual horsepower output of this thing, but it's certainly more than ample to push this guy along as fast as you want it to go. Underhood area is absolutely as new and as fresh as you can get. I don't feel any deterioration underneath the lips of this thing. The hood, again, everything is painted nice and bright red, the way it would be from the factory, and just got an absolute diamond of an engine compartment. We'll go around the rest of it, and Devin will show you some good high-resolution photos of the engine compartment so you can see everything under here. Hi, you're at Hankster's in Daytona Beach, Florida, and I don't know where you got it, but Kevin got us a really, really neat toy here for us to present to you. It's a 67 Dodge Dart GT style in a convertible. I mean, how much nicer can it possibly get than this? And it's got a B-block Mopar in it, power steering, power brakes, and air conditioning. But we're going to go around the outside of it and show you all the little deficiencies, if we can find any. I'm going to do my very best to go ahead and present the car to you. If I see something, I'm going to point it out. If I miss something, I apologize, but we're going to do our very best to show you everything we can on the vehicle. The fitment of the hood, look at this. 1/8 of an inch the whole way around. Both sides. Can't fit any better than that. The paint job on this is somewhere between a driver quality and an absolute show quality paint. It's not that deep that it's a show quality job, but it's 4 times as good as what Mopar put on this car from the factory, and certainly much better than the driver quality paint job. There's no fogginess whatsoever to the paint. It has a nice little luster to it. It looks like you could dive right down into it. Chrome pieces at the very tip of the top of the fender. Ornamentation is just as nice as can be. Look at this fitment on this thing. Look at this. No marks, no dingies in this piece of anodized aluminum. Just as nice a fit as you'd ever hope to find. Chrome on this is just absolutely brand new. A little Dodge designation on the top there. Dodge also across the front. Grille is aluminum. You can see that there's absolutely no teeth missing or no dents or marks or anything whatsoever in it. GT designation. Parking lamps in the front are just as clear and clean as can possibly be. The grille surround still has the argent type of finish the whole way around it. No marks, no dingies whatsoever on any of it, even this piece above the bumper. Bumper fitment. Bumperettes too, that's an option on these guys. Bumper fitment is absolutely spot on. I don't see where it's got any deviation whatsoever to it, and it's fit, you know, both horizontally and laterally are just as spot on as you could ever hope to find. No chips, marks, dings whatsoever in the front of it. I don't feel a single thing on it. So the front end of this, the paint job, the fit, the finish, the front end, the grille, bumpers, chrome on top of the bumper, which there's no scratches or any marks on it whatsoever from people putting their feet up on it or who knows what. It's just as nice and fresh and clean as you could ever hope to find. We'll go down the side now, see if we can find something there for you. Okay, driver's side of our GT style Dart. Turn signal indicators. Little nice touch that Dodge did back then. Wheel lip molding front. No dingies, no marks whatsoever. Dodge GT designation on it. Dart GT. Look at the fit of this. The cowl area, to the hood, to the fender, to the door. How can it get any better than that? Front fender to the door. Precise. As nice as you could ever hope to find it. Absolute precision. Correct wiper arms and blades on this guy too. Trim around the front windshield. No marks at all, absolutely none. The dash pad looking down onto it from inside the, from the windshield. There's no deviations or anything on it, no marks, no cracks. I don't see anything. We'll get a better look once we're inside the car, but I don't see anything from outside here. The metal part of the dash where it transitions to the base of the windshield, nice and clean and clear. Your speaker grill and everything is just as fresh and clean as you'd ever hope to find. Usually these defroster vents, which are plastic and snap into place, are deteriorated. These are not. These are nice and fresh looking. It has a, I'm going to call it a tinted window. It doesn't have a sunshade fade. Doesn't appear to anyway. But it is a tinted window. Okay, remote adjust mirror on the outside. It's a nice addition to the vehicle. Trim around the wing area. This is usually eaten up by some patina. That's not the case here. Even the base of the wing itself, absolutely precise. No patina whatsoever on it, and also none on the mirror. The mirror is just as clean as you'd ever hope to find. Obviously, it's a convertible. I forgot to mention that. Nice fitting, tight convertible top. It goes down around the sides just the way it's supposed to. There's no tears or marks or anything on the sides from people putting them down. You have to remember, it's a convertible, but when it's halfway down, you still got to get out and pull everything straight so nothing tucks under. That's what happens in these corners usually. People will sit in the driver's seat, put the top down, and then they wonder after a year why there's little tear marks here. These things tend to kink in there. You want to pull them out. Same thing with the back window. Right now it's nice and taut and it's crystal clear. If it were a little bit of a colder day and you go to put this down without getting out, you'll find that this window is going to kink in the center, and if you put it down a couple times it'll end up cracking. So you have to make sure that this folds in so that it's concave whenever the top is halfway down. Other than that, you won't have any problems. Wipes, whiskers, fresh and nice and clean as can possibly be. Look at this for a convertible too. Look at this window fitment. You kidding me? How well this thing fits for a convertible. Totally amazing. I'm going to call these original door handles. They don't need replaced. They have a little tiny bit of age, a little bit of fade to them, but no patina. They're nice as can be. Paint on this car is really nice. It's definitely better than a driver quality paint job. Look at this. And look at the fitment to the door. You see the door gap in the front and in the back, and the way it fits onto the quarter panel. There's absolutely no way that you can adjust that to be better than it is. I'm going to call this tinted on the side too. It may not be, I might be wrong, but it does look like it's tinted front and side glass. Trim around the rear wheel. No dinghies, no marks. Sharp edges. No Bondo whatsoever in this guy. This material here, which is usually deteriorated through the years, because this part here is chrome, the rest of this is polished stainless, this and this. But this is chrome. There's absolutely no deterioration whatsoever. All the snaps are intact yet for the boot that snaps onto this when the top's down if you choose to put it on. Little bumblebee stripe around the back. And it's painted on too. It is not taped on. It is painted and cleared over. So it's on there for keeps. If there is a straighter Dodge Dart in a convertible than this one, I'd like to see it. This thing is absolutely laser straight down the sides, the door fitment, the hood, spot on. Has a set of 14-inch rally wheels on it, BFG tires obviously. The rocker panel molding, no dents, no marks whatsoever, no heel marks from people whacking it with their heels through the years, getting in and out. The front and the side of this vehicle is absolutely exemplary. I can't imagine you can find a nicer one anywhere. Let's go out back. We've still got two parts to do yet. Okay, this is the rear section of our little 67 GT Dart. Again, look at the fitment of that deck lid. You're going to be able to see it. I'm pointing it out, but you're going to be able to see it in all of Devin's high-resolution videos, or still pictures, if you can't notice it in the video. Just as precise a fit as you could possibly hope to have. Chrome around the tail light assemblies, no patina whatsoever, nice clear lenses on them. That one anyway, let's check this one. Same thing on this side, absolutely precise chrome on it. Nice clear lens on this side. Dodge through the center here just the way it should be. Bumper fitment. Same as it was up front. And bumper guards in the back too, so you have them in the front and in the back. Nice addition. Gives it a little breakup, you know. It makes the car look a little bit sassier, a little bit neater with those black inserts in the bumperettes on it. Chrome on the bumper itself is just spot on. I don't see anything at all out of place. You can see the linearity of the bumper just precise as could possibly be. The correct style exhaust tips going out the back for a GT like in a 68 or 69. I don't remember if they actually had those in 67. I think they were turndowns in 67. But at any rate, it does have Mopar style chrome tips coming out the back. Backup lights nice and clean and shiny. Trim around them, absolutely no patina. Both of them same way. And no marks whatsoever on the back bumper. So we got the front, the side, the back, and there's not one thing out of place. I can't see a single thing out of place on it. So we have one more side to do. Okay, last side, passenger side of our GT style Dart. Wow, this tire is really, really close here. Nobody shaved these wheel wells out or anything, but the tire is really close to it. I can get my fingers in it, but that's about it. Pretty close. It's not hidden though. Trim around the back window here, and also take a look at this back window, how taut it is, how it looks like a piece of glass, and there's no waves or distortion or anything in it. Absolutely none. Somebody put this top on as precise as you could ever hope to have a convertible top fit. Wheel lip molding. that. Look at this window fit. Front glass to the rear quarter glass. Wipes, whiskers, again, just like the other side. They're absolutely precise. Original door handle, and it's as nice as you'd ever hope to find. Look, and again, look at the gap and look at the fit. We don't have to touch a thing on this car. Absolutely nothing. Look at this. I got a mirror on this side. That means I can drive it. And this is an expensive mirror. I just bought one. If Kevin finds out how much I paid for it for that other dart that was in here, he'll shoot me. But I always have to make sure I have a right-hand mirror on a vehicle if I drive it. So I had to buy one to match the remote adjust mirror. And these guys are not cheap. But there's a white dart that left here with one on it too. This is already on here. I didn't buy this one. Look at this. This is total crazy how nice this fits. Pentastar on the front, Dart GT designation, correct style antenna for the ear, trim around the front window. No marks, no chips, absolutely nada. Look at this. The door to the fender, to the cowl, to the hood. Look. And this especially. That's 4 for 4. Hood, the deck, and both doors. And there's absolutely no adjustment needed on any of them. No dinghies, no marks whatsoever. And we're back where we started again. All this trim on top of it too, by the way. There's no dents or marks or chips or anything in it through the years either. So it's 1967 Dart GT style convertible. You can see it has a new top. The back window is nice and tight. No waves or ripples in it whatsoever. It's nice and fitted. The top the same way. It almost looks like it's painted on. The finish on the vehicle is certainly much better than driver quality, but I'm not going to call it show quality. It approaches that, but it's just so much better than the driver quality paint job. Chrome everywhere is exemplary. Got everybody's choice set of rally wheels on it, and I don't know for sure. Donnie will tell you for sure, but it looks to me, instead of a 4-inch bolt pattern, it looks like these are 4.5-inch bolt pattern. So that means somebody's put different wheels on here for some reason, and they had to change the axles in the back, and they had to change the so it must have disc brakes on it also, heavy duty discs on the front. But we'll see that once we get underneath it. We'll be able to tell better. But a great looking car, a great color combination, BFG tires on it, white leather, rally wheels, red car, 400 Carter AFB carb, Edelbrock, air conditioning, power steering, power brakes, convertible top. It goes down. I mean, what more do you want? You know, Devin, is that power top or is it a? It is a power top. Devin had the top down. You'll see that he had the boot on and everything for the still photos that he took. We just went over this. She just watched me go over this entire vehicle, and I do my very, very best to pick out any imperfections. If there's a door that doesn't fit, I try to point it out. If I miss a stone chip or a mark or a ding or something, I try my best. I'm running my hands over it, and I'm also looking at it. But I'm not perfect. If I do miss one, I apologize. That's why Devin's going to give you 100 high-resolution still photos that you can blow up and take a look at. And everywhere I'm rubbing my hands, you're going to see a photo of that you can take a look at in the high resolution. So we try our best to present these cars to you as well as we can. And the big thing is we always like everybody to come down and take a look at them in person. I know it's not possible if you live in California or Maine or Washington State. But if you're in Louisiana, Alabama, Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, jump in a car or jump on a bird and come in and take a look at these vehicles. We have about 80 cars, or awful close to that, on the floor pretty much at all times. If you look at our website, you're only going to see we have about 40-some, because Devin and I try to get these videos up, but it takes him about 5 hours to do this particular presentation. He'll have 5 hours tied up in what we're doing here that you see now, plus the undercarriage, the interior, the drive, the still photos, and then he has to take everything and render it onto the website. So we do our best to present the car to you, so we want you to know exactly what you're buying here at Hanksters. We're not trying to hide anything from you. We're trying to show you everything, show you every little part of this vehicle. If there's a problem, we point it out. Again, this vehicle, the only thing that was done with this is we washed it off. Jeff washed it off, toweled it down, and we're shooting it. I have no idea if the wipers work yet. I don't know if the headlights work. I don't even know if it runs. I assume it does. We'll find out here shortly. But we're trying to present these to you as expedient as we can, you know, and that's why we're doing it prior to our inspections and detailing the vehicle. So you're actually looking at this vehicle as we received it. Take a look at it. Let's hear it, Hanksters. Okay, this is the interior of our GT style 67 Dart convertible. Obviously the top is new. We just went over all that. The framework has been all completely reconditioned. Everything has been taken apart and repainted. All new pads in the tops of the bows on the frame. New liner, new pads for the convertible top. Sun visors. The stitching is all nice and tight, nice and resilient the way it should be. Day-night mirror. No milkiness whatsoever. And it is a day-night mirror too. The seats front and back match just the way they should. The correct style upholstery for 1967 in this guy. It still has the Dodge insignias on the seats, little chrome insignias inset into them. Seat belts in the back, seat belts in the front. Trash trays in the back, new window cranks. I know there's a trash tray up front here somewhere. Yeah, it's right here. There's a trash tray up front too for coins. Air conditioning. It's a put-in air conditioning. I'm going to call it vintage air, but I don't know the actual manufacturer, but I think that's what it is. Your controls obviously are here, and you got 1, 2, 3, 4 vents to dispense the air conditioning. Tachometer on the left-hand side of the steering column. You don't see it, but it's there. There's a trio of auxiliary gauges, but I don't know if they work yet. We'll see that when we start to drive it. But it does have a full instrumentation dash, and it has speedometer. It has temperature gauge, fuel gauge, amp gauge, and oil pressure gauge. So you have full instrumentation in the vehicle. We talked about the padded dash, and there are no deviations in it whatsoever. No, what do you call it, cracks or marks or dips, absolutely nothing. Dash itself is nice and clean and clear. The lens across the speedometer enclosure, your gauge enclosure is as nice as can be. The trim around the dashboard the same way. It does have a glove compartment with the original tire pressure pad still in it. Loop pile carpeting, just the way it would be from Dodge in 1967. Door panels. There are a couple auxiliary speakers in the bottom of each door in the front here. But the door panels themselves are totally as fresh as can possibly be. Again, new window cranks in it, new door actuators. Both armrests are molded armrests, just the way they would have been from the factory. Armrests in the back the same way. Rubbers around the top and around the doors, around the windows. Everything is as fresh and clean as can possibly be. The knobs on the dash, again, all nice and shiny. There's no patina whatsoever on them. The steering wheel ring the same way, the horn ring, and your tri-spoke center with Dodge designation in the center of it. No patina whatsoever. Someone has put a hand-sewn cover over the, it's leather. It's a leather cover over top of the plastic steering wheel, and I don't feel, usually there's some cracks in this wheel, separations, and I feel absolutely none. So it does have a real nice high-end, nice tight leather wrap on it, but there's no cracks in the wheel from what I can tell. Of course, your Prindle gear selector. I don't see anything on this vehicle that's out of place. Everything is just the way it should be. Remote mirror from the factory, Dart GT designation on the doors, as it is on the outside everywhere. It has an aftermarket radio in it, Kennywood, I don't know, some kind of radio with some auxiliary speakers, and I don't know if there's any in the back or not. They may have a couple hidden in the back somewhere, can't really tell. But this is just an exemplary piece of merchandise here. It's a great vehicle, 1967 Dart GT style convertible. Power top too, Devin said it has power top also. There's absolutely nothing that hasn't been addressed in this vehicle, either on the external part or the interior part here, or mechanically. We haven't been under it yet. We'll know that here in a few minutes. But from what we saw so far, there's not a single thing I could pick on here. Oh, inside the doors, shiny and clean, just the way it was in 1967 when it left the factory. Your VIN tag still attached by its six-sided Mopar original rivets, and the VIN tag itself is totally as clean as it was in 1967. This is a nice looking car. If you're in the market for a neat convertible, take a look at this guy, because this thing is really a knockout piece of equipment. Okay, 67 Dart GT style convertible, big block Mopar, steering, brakes, and air. Neat car. Horn, both horns working just like they should. You can't see it, but there is a tachometer on this side of the steering column, and it is functioning as it should. See if Devin can. It's working just the way it should. Turn signal left. You can see that's nice and clear, beating itself to death over there. And then we got on the right hand side, we got another one. Alternator is functioning. You can see it's blipping a little bit here and there. There is a trio of gauges underneath the dashboard here. Temperature just starting to come up. Oil pressure holding nice and high, and 14 volts. So we're good to go there. We have that's working. Let's see here. Remote mirror. It works just the way it should. Wipers. Well, wipers work. How about that? Working just the way they should. Try air conditioning. Oh, I felt it kick on. Let's see if this guy gets cold. Yep. Getting cold. That's a good sign, especially here in Florida. So the air is working. Devin, you got any idea how to actuate this thing? Let me see if I can make it. Whoa, something came up. It says standby. I don't know what that means. Well, we got lights working anyway. I have no idea how to work Mickey Mouse radios. However, it looks like it is going to function. So, again, clocks and radios. If they work, they work. If they don't work, they don't work. What else can we check on this thing? There's gauges are all working. Temperature coming up just the way it should. Air conditioning working. Wipers working. Turn signals working. Horn working. Let's go for a ride. Okay, we're going down the road. No hands. Car tracks just as straight as you'd ever hope to have a car track. Just going down the road, absolutely. Still don't have any hands on the wheel. Still going straight. Let's try it before cars get behind me here. Let me try it. Brakes, no hands. Okay, brakes, no hands. And we're stopped, and I still haven't touched the steering wheel. So, there. Nice, clean, crisp shifts. Nice shift and tranny to this thing. Runs well, drives well. Steering's real tight. It's precise. It doesn't wander all over the place. You can see that. It's just a nice tracking car. It's a convertible, and you'd never know it because there's not a shake, a shimmy, a creak, a groan, nothing out of the top. Everything is just as tight as you'd ever hope to have on a hardtop. Gas gauge is not working. It's either that or we're going to run out in the next 50 feet. And I'm going to guess it's not working. So we do have to have that addressed. That's one thing. It's the only thing we found. That is absolutely the only thing I found so far in this vehicle. You watched us go around the entire vehicle. You watched us check everything out. The wipers, the air conditioning, just literally everything on this. The only thing we found is a fuel gauge that is not functioning, which it's a Mopar, so that's like standard. Fuel gauges and fuel gauge. I'll give it a little squirt with all this traffic here. Nice smooth running car. It shifts nice and clean. I can't really lay into it too hard. There's too much traffic out the road today. But I mean, we took it up to about 60-some mile an hour there, and it's just running as just as straight as can be. I mean, you could take this car and aim it where you want, and that's where it goes. Nice straight car. Brakes work well, power brakes on it, and they stop just as straight as you'd ever hope them to. I can't find a negative on this other than fixing that gas gauge. Somebody's going to get a fantastic car. Really great looking car too. But it's definitely a 354 Dana. You can feel the little holdback on it, and it's 354 gears in this thing. Nice combination. Everything is as heavy duty as you'd ever hope to find. You know, you got a Dana rear, you got subframe connectors, you got the 4.5-inch bolt pattern. It's full-size Mopar wheel on this now. You just have everything. Heavy-duty shocks, front and rear. Everything works except that gas gauge. And other than that, I can't find a single thing on this vehicle that's a negative. Okay, this is the undercarriage of our really special 1967 Dart GT style convertible. Big block Mopar, 400 inches. You can see everything is absolutely as fresh as can be. Motor's been out and completely redone. There's no leaks on the engine, bell housing area, transmission, speedometer, gear drive, or the tail shaft. Everything is still just as fresh. And the tail shaft is, you can see the tranny's been out and completely refashioned. And even the spline where it goes into the tail shaft is fresh and nice and new. Didn't even have any corrosion on it yet. New U-joint in the drive shaft. Something I didn't notice on top, and I said that they were a long tube set of headers. Kind of hard to tell because the engine is so full of the engine compartment of this thing. They look like a set of ceramic long tube headers, but they're not. They're something better. And it's the first time I've seen a set of these for a while now. This is something that is really neat. It's called the Tri-Y system. So you have two pipes going into one pipe, so that gives you 2 and 2 going into 2, and then those two go into 1. It's called the Tri-Y system. So you have a Y, and then a big Y that goes into the collector. It's called the Tri-Y system, and it's one of the best flowing exhaust systems that you can possibly buy. It was engineered by Chrysler whenever they were doing their Max Wedge program, and if you look at the set of Max Wedge headers, the early ones on, and the later ones, you'll see that they're a type of a Tri-Y system. Anyway, ceramic coated Tri-Y style headers, gear reduction starter, the steel braided, there are steel lines that go for the cooling transmission, going up to the radiator just the way they should be. Let's see here. Floor pans themselves, there's absolutely no indication that they've been replaced. Torque boxes in the front, the structural part that they add to convertibles to give them a little more rigidity. Just as nice as can be. No one's made any attempt to jack it up on those through the years, thank God. But there is a jack mark here and one here, and I don't even see one here. One here. There's a pull on each one of these holes, and one here from someone tying it down too aggressively whenever they had the car shipped. But obviously it's not going to affect any of the structural integrity of the vehicle at all. Where the floor pans transition over to the rocker panels, you can still see the little pinch welds on them. I'm going to call these 2.5 going into 2 1/4. I'm going to call these 2 1/4 pipes. And again, you can see no leaks whatsoever on the drive right here, absolutely none. Subframe, other than these couple pulls and a couple little jack marks, absolute flawless. Nice and clean, nice metal the way it should be. There's no deterioration whatsoever. Splatter undercoating from Mopar yet on the floor pans the way it was from the factory. Subframe connectors. I never saw a set quite like this, and these are actually welded to the subframes. They're a really nice, heavy, really good looking set, and they're more of a rectangular set instead of being big square ones that hang down and catch on everything. These kind of conform with the configuration of the frame itself, so that it almost looks like this was made that way from the factory. It's a really nice set of subframe connectors for a Mopar. All the structural parts that come off of the something caught on this one here. Apparently when they were pulling it on a rack, it caught this, and or putting it on for shipment, one of the two. Caught this little structural piece for the floor pan. That's all it does is support the floor pan, by the way. It's not anything structural with the vehicle. But It does have a little bit of a tear on it here and a little bit of a dent. Well, more than a little bit. There's a dent there. This side doesn't have one. Floor pans the rest of the way are just as sweet as possibly be. The fuel line's still intact the way it was from the factory. Brake lines, where are the brake lines? Huh. That's neat. Oh, there it is. I got it. They put new brake lines on it. Instead of putting them over where they're open on the floor pans or on the rocker panels, they apparently decided to put them above the frame structure, the frame supports. Parking brake, I'm getting off center here. Parking brake, original and intact, just the way it should be. A set of under chassis mufflers. It just says made in USA. I don't know the actual manufacturer, but you can see they are absolutely brand new. These appear to be stainless, but again, they could be aluminized. I can't really tell. New shocks in the front. I did forget to mention that. It has new shocks in the front. It has new tie rod ends. It has disc brakes in the front, and they are the heavier duty disc brakes with the 4.5-inch pattern instead of the 4-inch pattern. New ball joints on it. New ball joints. Drive shaft, you can see, is absolutely reconditioned and new U-joint in front, new U-joint in the back, subframes in the back where the subframe connectors go on to. They did such a great job of this. I can't believe how nice they did that. But anyway, the subframes themselves in the back part here, the torque boxes, again, are more rigid with a convertible than they are a standard vehicle. And they're just totally, yeah, there's one jack mark here. There's a big old jack mark right there. That one has none. Again, a little pull right here from where it was tied down. That's probably what happened there. They put one hook here and one here, and that's what probably pulled that. Drum brakes in the rear, disc in the front. We did mention that. Parking brake is hooked up and functional. 2 1/4, and I'm going to call these. I'm going to call this 2 1/8 going out the muffler. Call them 2 1/8. Air shocks in the back. Someone has added a set of air shocks back here, really heavy duty, and they're absolutely brand new. Still has a nice curvature to the leaf spring system that was on this car from the factory. Really nice set of leaves on it. This is a biggie, and this is really unusual to see someone do this unless they did it on a super stock car or something. But it has a 9 3/4 Dana rear end in it. And I'm going to guess it has a 354 ratio. I haven't driven it yet, but they're all posi, so it wouldn't matter. They're all Danas are posi. I'm going to guess it's a 354, but it is a 9 3/4 Dana rear end in it. You can drop a hammer with a Hemi at $7 grand all day long and not break that guy. So I don't think there's a chance in hell that it's ever going to have any issues with a 400 pushing it. Again, the rear end is absolutely brand new. The floor pans in the back look like they're original and totally undisrupted. Drop downs in the quarter panels. There's no deterioration whatsoever on either side from what I can see. Sun's in my eyes, but I don't see anything on this side either. The well for the spare tire is totally free of dents or marks or chips or anything. There is a little ding right here in the gas tank and another one right here. I don't know why they're there, but it appears to be the original gas tank. There's no deterioration whatsoever to it. The correct style exhaust tips for a Mopar out the back. Again, the exhaust system is all brand new. You can see everything is totally fresh and new. That's the entire undercarriage of this car. Floor pans above the gas tank and by where they transition to the fender, the tire well, just as fresh and clean as you'd ever hope. That piece of steel structure that goes and ties the subframes together in the back, totally undisrupted. There's no pull marks whatsoever on it. The frame on this thing, the subframe, is just as fresh and clean as it was when it was new. In fact, there's still places where you can see the primer on it from when it was done by Chrysler. Phenomenal vehicle. You can see that everything is done to the nth degree, especially structure-wise. You know, you just don't use Dana rear ends and subframe connectors and all this heavy-duty equipment. Somebody apparently decided at some point they're going to go ahead and make this into a serious contender, a little 1,320 feet at a timepiece. But fantastic undercarriage. I don't see anything out of place at all. Absolutely nothing. You can see everything at this time is free of any kind of leakage. So we're going to go for a ride and see what this thing runs like and how it performs and what works and what doesn't in the dashboard.